Tesla Cybertruck keeps ramping up its production. We have news about Cruise in San Francisco and its impact to autonomous driving. And lastly, we have some data around legacy auto that's super concerning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll go with Tesla Cybertruck. Here is yet more pictures of the Cybertruck being carried around in Austin, Texas. From S.E. Robinson on X, thank you so much for sharing these pictures. Tesla Cybertruck found on Ben White Boulevard in Austin. But one of the things that's pretty important about this is that Tesla is starting to ramp up its Cybertruck production. A lot of these are probably still meant to be scrapped or tested or sent to facilities for safety testing and also for the EPA ratings for the range and the efficiency. But there is growth in how quickly Tesla is manufacturing the Cybertruck. Here's Auger Truck on X keeping track of all the different Cybertrucks that have been shown. And Auger states that from his standpoint, there are about 45 Cybertrucks, including the sightings, just a few hours ago, right before this video. And when I touch base with one of my sources at Giga Texas, Gregor Truck on X, he says that that number is likely correct, somewhere between 45 to 50. Now, if we look at the latest production and how many trucks are coming out of Gigafactory Texas, it looks like the factory is building about 5 trucks per day, which equals to about 35 per week. If Tesla were to continue this trend for, say, the next few weeks, this will land us at about 250 Cybertrucks built by the end of Q3. Now, I've had some conversations with Corey Steuben, who used to work at Monroe and is an expert on manufacturing. He said that manufacturers typically like to have hundreds of units built before their first deliveries start. Now, at this pace, Tesla would have somewhere around 250 built by the end of Q3, which from my standpoint means that Tesla should be on track to release this thing by the end of Q3, beginning of Q4, especially if they're able to ramp up their production even further. Meaning that first deliveries at a maximum should be no longer than about 2 months from now. In addition to that, we have some news from Kelley Blue Book. They are predicting that the Cybertruck will start at around $50,000 to compete with the Ford F-150 Lightning. If you're familiar with the truck market, the EV truck market, F-150 Lightning just had a lot of price decreases, and their work truck F-150 Lightning starts at about $50,000. Now, I think this is quite aggressive for starting prices. I do think over time, as Cybertruck ramps, they'll get to that $50,000 starting price once they go through their top tier tri-motor or quad motor configuration and the dual motors. I believe they'll have some sort of trim in the long term that will start at $50,000. Now, there was some major news coming out of San Francisco over the weekend where Cruise has gotten into some accidents in the last few weeks, and regulators in San Francisco told Cruise to immediately reduce its active fleet of vehicles by 50% after a Cruise robotaxi was involved in a crash with an emergency vehicle, and Cruise has agreed to a 50% reduction. Luckily, there seemed to be no major injuries or deaths from these accidents, so thank goodness for that. But this is really highlighting a very important thing, that Cruise is navigating through uncharted territory. And so it's extremely important that Cruise has to have high execution so that they don't screw it up for everybody else. Imagine a situation where San Francisco is looking at Cruise and saying, wow, this self-driving technology is really a lot tougher than we expected. These folks don't seem to have a good grasp on the technology, and the Cruise cars are getting into accidents left and right. This could incentivize the regulators from San Francisco to put very, very strict guidelines and rules that are potentially unnecessary, especially if Cruise becomes, let's say, the standard bearer or really the default technology that San Francisco is trying to base its regulation on. In addition to that, you could have cities like Orlando, you could have cities like Austin, New York, and whatever, looking at this San Francisco example and being like, man, this is kind of crazy. I don't want people to have to deal with this self-driving stuff. Cruise and other companies that potentially are going to come to our cities are going to abide by these very strict guidelines that are potentially way too restrictive. But it's also very important to give Cruise a ton of credit for at least trying to solve for this, because it's obviously a super difficult problem. But this is something that I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on, because it could have long-term implications on the growth story of autonomous vehicles, especially here in the United States. Now, real quick, before we go on to the next story, I am hosting an X Space with Walter Isaacson. Walter is an author, and he's launching his biography on Elon Musk on September 12th, and I'll be speaking with him on X Spaces on September 16th at 2 p.m. Central. You can listen to that space by following me on X, and you can also follow Walter Isaacson as well. Super excited to talk to him about the entire writing process and all the things that he found while being next to Elon for the last year and a half. So I'm super excited for that conversation. And thank you to Walter for agreeing to come with me on a space. Super excited. Now, what are the data sets that are really having me worried around legacy auto? Here is a chart from Piloli on X. This is spend money on world's top 10 best-selling EVs. That's kind of like a tongue twister. Top 10 best-selling EVs. I guess not. I guess I just can't talk. In the first half of 2023. As you can see here, the green is the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3 take up nearly 60% of the total money spent on the top 10 best-selling EVs in the world. And here's a different way of looking at it. The green bar is how many units are sold of each car, and the yellow line is how much it costs. And as you can see here, Tesla Model Y is by far the best-selling EV in the world by units. The Model 3 is in second place, closely followed by the BYD Song in third place. And as you can see here as well, look at the yellow line here. The Tesla Model Y is by far the most expensive, followed by the Tesla Model 3, and then the BYD Han, whose units are in the bottom half. But here are my two huge takeaways from this list. It's actually three. The first one is that Tesla has the two most expensive cars on the list by far. Again, if we look at this list, you have the Model Y most expensive, the Model 3, and then a little bit lower is the BYD Han, but they sell significantly less units of that car versus the Model 3. And the other major takeaway is that Tesla has the two best-selling cars on the list as well. So they have the two most expensive, yet they have the two best-selling. And that's why they have the most spend money for the world's top 10 best-selling EVs. It's because you have the best-selling car that also happens to be the most expensive, and you have the next best-selling car, which also happens to be the next most expensive. But an even bigger takeaway is if you look at the top 10 list, the Model Y, the Model 3, the BYD Kin, Yuan, Song, BYD, GAC, Wuling. These are two Teslas and the rest of it are Chinese automakers. So my question becomes, where is legacy auto on this list? Legacy automakers have been around for a really long time. They've built out great cars over the last decades, but from an EV standpoint, they're absolutely nowhere to be seen when you look at their total global sales. And these types of data sets are really growing my concern for legacy auto on the daily, really. You would think that companies that have been around for so long would be part of that top 10 list. Ford, GM, Volkswagen, everybody else, Toyota, Honda, these are giant corporations that make millions of cars per year. How come they're not in the top 10? If legacy auto was so good at making cars, how come they're not in the top 10? And then the additional variable we have to throw on there is what happens when Tesla releases more affordable models. The two best-selling cars on that list, again, are the two most expensive. So what happens when they release a compact car and potentially even a cheaper car after that compact car? In my opinion, this kind of data set is what really describes what's about to happen to legacy automakers in the medium to long term. The fact that they haven't cracked the top 10 after 10 years since Tesla came out with their original Model S back in 2012, it's a very big warning sign. I'm legitimately concerned. I'm concerned that Ford in the next 5 to 10 years, unless something drastic happens and they're able to enter the top 10, that they're going to experience some huge losses when it comes to their car business. Same thing with Toyota, same thing with GM, and that could mean millions of jobs lost from those companies in the long term. But I would also love to hear what you think about that data set. I would love to hear what you think about the thing that happened with Cruise in San Francisco and the ramp of the Cybertruck. There's a lot of stuff happening in the EV space, believe it or not. And it does seem like we're starting to enter a really big transition, especially as these new automakers start making more new cars that start potentially displacing all the existing cars from legacy automakers. Real quick, a very easy way to support the channel is by clicking subscribe. About 69% of you are not subscribed right now. And of course, I super appreciate you stopping by and watching my videos. But if you'd like to support the channel, super easy, just click subscribe for me. And then if you'd like to go above and beyond, I have a link to my merch in the description below, as well as a link to Athletic Greens, which is a supplement that I take every single day. You'll get free travel packs and vitamin D with your purchase. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.